Take 3 Gen Xers, give them a topic about music, movies, pop culture, or whatever, and how it relates to them growing up in the 70s and 80s as part of Generation X. Add one person from another generation to see if there's any common ground, and you've got Solve for Gen X, starting now.
I can't pull this off.
I do
really
like it.
Want to, though.
I think you can. I think it looks good.
Really?
It does.
I do.
Just the thing to me, for me personally, I don't ever think that looks good on anyone.
Oh, really?
No.
I do.
Well, I think it looks good on you.
It's sort of retro,
Now,
swinging 60s or something like
it
that.
is.
Or 40s
It is.
even.
You look like you could be in Swingers, in the film Swingers.
Yeah, or hanging out. I call my Palm Springs hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. I like it. How are you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
Okay.
When I think of fashion, I do not think of me. As a kid, I wasn't really that aware of fashion to a point. And as an adult, I've never had much to do with fashion either, except for once. I was at a fashion show at the Fashion Cafe. Do you remember the Fashion Cafe in New York City?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. It was like a bunch of famous models, I guess, had a cafe. It was at the same time like the Hard Rock Cafe and Planet Hollywood and things like that.
So this
and
is full grown, Matt.
Yeah, it was full grown me. So this is it. But it was a press event featuring a line of clothing for kids, featuring Sesame Street characters, and I was hosting. I was. Yep, I was not hosting, but Big Bird was hosting, so I was there, and helping Big Bird was Laverne DeFazio herself, Penny Marshall, and what I remember about that day. What I remember is not like the parade of kids on the runway in Cookie Monster cargo pants and Burt bathrobes or Grover galoshes. It was when Penny Marshall, trying to stay standing after taking a little misstep, ripped Big Bird's wing clean off of him.
No.
Yes. And
Wait, isn't Big Bird's wing his arm?
It is, yes. You are right.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
You don't remember this? I mean,
No.
it was all over the news.
It was.
Oh,
a
I don't
big
remember
deal.
this.
I remember it just because I knew Matt.
Oh my gosh! And she like sheepishly put the wing. She put the wing behind her, as like all of these kids and every camera that was there just was like on her and Big Bird.
No.
And she was Big Bird, who was ever the professional, just kind of looked at her and he was like, "Don't worry, it'll grow back." And then sure enough, by the time Big Bird was seen again, his wing had somehow regrown.
Uh-huh.
That's my experience with fashion, so to speak. So growing up, I didn't really have, and I didn't really give fashion a second thought, I think, or so I would like to think. So on today's show, and from the time I was very little, I was probably not a fashion icon on this episode of Solve for Gen X.
Solve for Gen X.
It was the age of parachute pants.
Skinny ties, neon headbands.
We rode our bicycles helmet free.
A nicotine from a vending machine.
Decades, pastimes, memories, and masters song. Solve for Gen X. Solve for Gen X. Solve for Gen X. Solve for Gen X.
Yeah, that was a real thing that happened, Nate. Like, she pulled the wing right off. And then she went on Rosie O'Donnell like a week or so later, and she was like, "Yeah, the guy inside Big Bird was not in the right place." She blamed it on me.
And talking about a guy inside Big Bird. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I
On a
should,
daytime,
I
daytime
know.
talk show.
You know, Penny Marshall.
Penny.
What do you
R.I.P.
think? Hi, I'm Matt Vogel. I'm Generation X 1970.
I'm Nate Starkey. I'm Generation X 1971.
And I'm Ashley Ward. I'm Generation X 1972. The baby.
That's right. As a kid, I think I just wore the things that my mom bought me. I mean, it was kind of like when we were talking about music and like the music that your parents had. It's not that I wore my parents' clothing, but it wasn't my choice. I didn't have a choice, really. I was a nerdy kid who probably desperately wanted to fit in, but I did not realize somewhere inside me that probably the kind of clothes that you wore may have dictated like what social group you were in.
What age do you think that starts? I mean, and it may be different now than it was for us. I don't know.
I think it is different. For me, I think it was probably not until like junior high school. Like it was, that was when I probably wanted to have those
junior
things,
high for you starts 6th grade or 7th grade?
Junior high was 9th grade, really. Yeah. Or no, 7th grade. I'm sorry, 7th grade. 7th, 8th, and 9th was junior high.
Yeah.
I had, nerdy glasses.
It's probably different for boys and girls, and it's also probably different depending on where you're living.
I think that's true.
Maybe.
I think it is. I think it's
so
different.
nerdy glasses define nerdy glasses. We could definitely battle on that.
I'll throw my hat in the ring.
They were the square glasses with a hint of tinting on the upper half. Is that fashion, anyone?
That is a good answer to me.
Yes, my friend Brian Stubler and I, we wore trench coats. I think maybe because Christian Slater wore trench coats in Heathers. Does that count as fashion?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure, 100%.
Were you interested in parachute pants, for example?
Well,
I feel like that's
I'm going to get into that.
Okay,
I'm going to get into that. And actually,
Bro,
no.
What are you waiting for to get into that?
Okay, so in thinking about fashion, and I'm including the idea of like what I wore and maybe what I wanted to wear and a little of what I noticed others around me wearing, I've got a few remembrances. Mm-hmm. And with the help of the internet, primarily Wikipedia, I am going to do it a little game in the style of Jeopardy.
Nice.
So if you know the answer, Nate and Ashley, please buzz in by saying buzz. I don't know. Yeah, buzz. Just buzz in. And then please state your answer in the form of a question. I'm pretty sure that Ashley's going to be really good at this. Okay. No offense, Nate, but, Jeopardy and everything. Okay, here we go. This line of clothing, sold by Sears starting around 1973, was worn during the bulk of the 70s by my brother Jason and me, and was sold with a guarantee that kids would grow out of them before they wore out. Oh, gosh, it's tough to say. I'm going to go with Ashley because I heard just a little bit of her first. But
what are garanimals?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not right.
I was going to guess
that's not right.
Levi's. Is that not right?
I'm sorry, that's not right either.
I do have a second guess.
What is your second guess?
Levi's are like...
What is Oshkosh Bagosh?
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. We were looking for tough skin jeans. Did you guys wear tough skin jeans?
No,
Nate,
no.
Did you?
We had Wranglers.
Hell
we were like Lee and Wranglers.
Okay.
I might have had some tough skins at one point because I know my mom shopped at Sears.
They were indestructible. They were made.
I probably wore them at one point or another, but it was early in my life when I came to the understanding those were not cool.
Yeah. Well, you should have told my mom because both Jason and I had matching like pants and jean jackets of tough skins. And I found a picture. It was matching sets. Like Jason has like this brown set and mine is like classic denim. But anyway, tough skins. They were made for kids. They were made out of like Dacron, polyester, DuPont nylon, cotton, and galvanized steel. No, that's not real, but most of it's real.
It's like a piece of machinery.
It is. It really is.
More machine than man, really.
That's right. Yeah, so not really fashion. But okay, here's our next one. 1979 saw this invention from American architect and avid runner Bob Gamm. He wanted a place to keep small items when he was jogging.
Bang.
Ashley.
What is fanny pack?
Don't say.
Sorry, that is incorrect.
A place to put...
Mm-hmm. He was a jogger. He was a runner.
You're going to have to tell me. I could guess like some kind of pouch somewhere, though.
Yeah, you are right. Pouch is correct, but this is, what are kangaroos?
The shoes,
shoes.
That had the pouch.
Yeah.
I had a pair of kangaroos. Yeah.
I did not remember they were called kangaroos.
Yeah, they were like a bit of a fad in our school, I remember. And I had a pair, and I wanted a pair, and I got a pair. And you could really only, there was like a little pouch in the side, and you can only really put like a couple nickels in there. I don't know what you would do with the kangaroos are still available today in over 60 countries worldwide.
Wow.
Originally designed for military use, these became a fad and fashion trend in the 1980s thanks to breakdancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate?
Parachute pants.
Parachute pants is right.
What are parachute pants?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Ashley gets the points for that. What are parachute pants? I had a pair of these. I don't know why I wanted a pair. I was not a breakdancer. I could see Nate.
A fashion staple.
But were you, Nate? Did you have? Because you were a breakdancer. Did you have parachute pants? What color? What color were they?
don't remember. I think I had black and maybe gray. But
you had 2 pair?
Yeah, maybe, but I didn't really.
On a school teacher's salary.
All right, here's another one. Although nowhere near any coast at all, I wore T-shirts from this popular clothing and sportswear brand started in California in the 1960s that featured bright neon geometric shapes and the company's 2-letter logo.
Bah.
Ash.
Ocean Pacific. What is Ocean Pacific?
What is Ocean Pacific? Yes. You guys have Ocean Pacific shirts?
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
of
yeah.
course.
Panama Jack, Ocean Pacific,
I still love
Camp
that.
Beverly Hills.
But they're still around, right?
The abbreviation for, I think it was called Camp Beverly Hills. I know that was a movie, too.
No.
Well, the problem with that
I
one
thought
is...
you were going to say like a shirt that says sex wax on it. That was also very popular.
That was a thing,
I don't
too.
know. I wouldn't-
But we had
wouldn't
one
have
that
been
was,
that.
there was a girl brand, I think it was Camp Beverly Hills, predating the movie, but the initials on it were CBH. And my friend called vaginas China bones. And so we would always say, are you wearing your China bone head shirt? That was our, like...
So was it like branded after the Shelley Long movie?
I don't think it was.
That was Troop Beverly Hills.
I'm also, you're right.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it was Camp Beverly Hills. And it was like, but it was clearly jumping on the trend, Ocean Pacific, California,
Yeah,
you know,
there was
that
a
whole,
bunch.
like...
All of
There's
those.
a bunch.
Well, I remember fondly this. It
And
was
it's
like, I
also
think it was-
Vans fashion.
I
like
did,
the
but I was
shirts.
not. I was like not in that. Like I wasn't cool at all. And I guess this was my attempt at trying to maybe be a little cooler than I really was. But
The
I
OP
remember,
shirts?
yeah, like I had like I feel like it was like a turquoise OP shirt.
Yes.
And I found a picture of it. It was a black and white picture, but I remember the shirt. And in my back pocket is one of those combs, like I think banana combs. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Like they have like the handle, so I could comb my hair.
Yes, yes.
Like sticking way out of my pocket.
Oh,
People,
that's
that was a
hilarious.
thing. That was a thing.
Ridiculous. I got a couple more. First popularized in 1822 London, this clothing accessory came back big in the 80s thanks to Run DMC and, for me, Robin Williams.
Oh, I know. Bah.
Yes.
What are suspenders?
Yes. Had a
Wait,
pair
Run
of red
DMC wore
suspenders.
suspenders?
They
Apparently,
did. There
they
was
wore
a period of
suspenders.
time when they did, but I had suspenders. They were pink and they had paisleys on them, which is like nothing could be more 80s than like pink paisley suspenders.
That was
Oh my
very early
gosh,
80s,
yes.
though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
became
it's-
hacky real fast.
Yeah, well, look at me in 1985 and we'll see here.
I feel like I have a picture of you from college wearing suspenders. I'm like
maybe,
99% sure.
I mean, I've got like dress suspenders
God.
that I haven't worn them in a long time, but for a while.
That's what
I had,
his
like-
were. He was dressed
Yeah.
up. You had on a
Yeah, yeah.
tie.
Probably would have.
No,
yeah,
that's not-
that sounds right.
That stayed fashionable for a long time. I don't know
Yeah.
if it
I
still
don't know
is or
about
not,
that.
but I don't know.
I did find a picture of me. It's a school picture, and I've got on red suspenders, some sort of pattern on the shirt, and an underdog button, like a little
Fantastic.
pin, little underdog.
Oh my
It's
God.
ridiculous, but the
I would
big.
kill for that
That's awesome.
underdog pin.
It was cool. I liked it. back then.
That's
But
That's awesome.
and this is also related to which I'm not going to give away. My final one. Along with the mullet, flat top, and mohawk, this hairstyle in the 1980s was worn by every member of my family.
Wait, are you going to say a rat tail?
No,
Okay.
Okay, so mullet, flat top, and mohawk.
It's not one of those.
Oh, the feathered, the
Oh,
butt
bah,
cut?
bah.
yes,
What is a perm?
yes,
Oh,
it's a permanent.
Nice.
Oh my God!
Every
Tell me you
member
have,
of-
tell
I
me you have
do.
a photo. Oh,
I
yes.
do. Oh God, it's awful. I have several photos, and everyone in my family had a perm. I guess we had this hideous straight hair. So my mom, my dad, my brother, and me, we all went to our a friend of mine, Steve Slavens. His mom was a hairdresser in her basement. So we're all in there, like. Just like wrapped up, and it just smelled. You know, there's like a smell. There's like a
horrible.
it's a
That you
horrible
all
smell.
got them at the same time.
I don't know if we got them at the same time, but we all got them. I mean, I'm sure there are photos of like all four of us just like, brunk. And you know,
Oh, my God.
it's a little maybe a little before Kirk Cameron, maybe kind of. It's in that
And
kind of
so-
time.
So it's
Yes.
like
It's awful.
84 or something like that.
There
Yes.
were a lot
It's awful.
of ill-advised male perms in the 80s. My uncle, may he rest in peace, had and in like talk about a guy who like had no interest in fashion or anything. At some point, I don't know what happened, but he was just like, "Oh yeah, I live in Opelika, Alabama. I drive stock cars on the weekend. I work at the ABC, Alabama Beverage Control Liquor Store,
Oh yeah.
and I'm getting a fucking perm." And he 100%
And he did. Wow.
That's wild.
Well, it's, it takes a certain kind of person to get permanent.
A lot of panache.
I couldn't imagine.
I guess you could call it that. I do have,
If I could have a full head of hair again, I would get a perm if that was the exchange.
I wouldn't.
You can have a full head of hair, but you have to get a perm.
Just so you would match me.
Tight, just really tight.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love
tight
it to
perm.
look like Ashley.
It would be pretty cool.
No, loose like a real loose.
Yeah.
Fabia.
I've got one other little thing, just because it was something I wasn't sure if this was a real thing. I had this thing in my head. This was something that I really, really wanted, but never got. In the end, I think it's probably better. Okay, so here's what it is. What music artist's iconic piece of clothing was reproduced and sold by merry-go-round in the 1980s?
Bah.
Yes.
What is Michael Jackson's Thriller jacket or Beat It jacket? I guess
You are correct. It's either or both. Yes,
Yeah.
it is that. That is true. I really wanted a Beat It jacket or a Thriller jacket when I was a kid growing up. I really wanted it. Thank God my mom never bought one for me. But that was, for part of me of my life, I've been like, I don't even know if that was a real thing, but it really was. They bought
Of course.
they sold 50,000 jackets
Easy.
at $29 a piece.
There was
Surprised that's all.
There was one guy at my school who had it, and I can't. His name was Scott something, and I can't remember his last name. And he wasn't super popular. He was like a bigger guy, and he had this jacket, which I guarantee you, he was like, "I've done it. I found the thing that is going to take me to the next level," and it 100% did not. But it's like, I guarantee you, his mom was like, "I spent $30 on this coat. You'll be wearing it every damn
Oh my
day."
God.
And he did. He wore it. And you know what? He worked it. It was good. He looked
Well,
good.
there's something beautiful, I guess, about someone who is socially not at the top of the mountain or whatever, maybe on the other opposite end, maybe social in the social valley.
Yeah.
And when they make a big swing like that,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a big swing and see if it turns it around.
It
May
is-
have helped him in some ways. I'm sure some people were like, "That's awesome. That's cool." Because I bet a lot of people were in your boat, Matt, of wanting one, and their
I bet
parents
he
being
got
like,
a
"Absolutely
lot of
not."
I'm not gonna buy
crap for it
that.
too, though.
I'm sure he
yeah.
did.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
He
But
wasn't very
anyway,
nice.
those are my recollections of fashion, and
Wow.
that is why I was probably not a fashion icon.
The game. The
And a
game.
A game.
Big,
I don't know.
Big claps for the game.
Anything
The
from
game.
there, like
played a
we did. We
game.
did a game. I don't know if you
yes.
you remember we had a little Jeopardy.
Yeah, no, okay, I love
I
that.
mean, he is like on
Is
another
that-
planet these
Nate,
days.
is your hat really
Okay.
tight? Maybe it's just tight, and you need to let your head breathe.
So it doesn't. I can't pull it off.
He's making a joke about that you didn't get that we just played a game.
Oh my god.
That's all. Yeah, it wasn't about. I honestly think that the hat looks good. I really do. I think it looks great.
Oh.
I think you could pull it off. I really do. And in fact, I wish you
mean,
would
I've
just
got a
if you
big
could
head.
if you could just pull it off right now. That would be great for all of us. I'm just kidding. No, please don't. No, keep it on.
No,
I
he's
really
joking.
like it.
Anything's better than the hair.
I really do like it. Honestly,
I can't believe you really thought he was criticizing that. He was so clearly
No.
making a joke about you forgetting the game we just
tightness
played.
of the hat maybe affected your thinking. Okay, so
Cognitive.
you guys, what do you got? What kind of like fashion things? You guys were probably super
Why don't I
popular.
piggyback because I feel like we'll have more in common probably.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley's going to go on a whole different thing probably. My other
Girl-centric.
question- Yeah, because it's a different sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah. So for me, definitely there was the the stuff your parents put on you, right? Which look, I love that stuff. Like, here's one of my brother and I both in like these plaid sports jackets, and like all that stuff is fantastic. I love it all.
It's very Howard Cosell, like two little Howard Cosells.
like wide world of sports.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so then let's just jump into like the breakdance stuff, and you talked about it, Matt, with I touched on it a little bit. Yes, the parachute pants, but I didn't really wear the parachute pants all that much. But I did have like my breakdancer look.
What is
right?
that look? What is it?
Well, it's a lot of black. Oh, you know one thing that I don't know if I think it is a breakdance thing.
What?
So you're looking at me.
She's very enamored of
You remember painter's caps?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah, I had one. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I do.
That was a funny thing to have.
Yeah.
You talked about the Michael Jackson jacket. I wasn't going to buy a Michael Jackson jacket or whatever. And also, it was like, this seems kind of lame to me. What I would wear is like a vest. I can't remember entirely, like a gray vest and like black, like sort of baggy pants. And there was something under the vest that I don't remember what it was, but
Like a shirt.
Yeah, obviously a shirt, but like
I was like, can he not come up with the word for shirt? Is that too hot tight?
no. Did you assume I was naked under the vest?
911.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Was
Keep
it
going.
I can't remember if it was a button down or a t-shirt or what.
Okay.
Like obviously
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what kind of shirt.
was this your like the I'm just going out kind of shirt, and this is high school? I'm just going out, or was
Junior high school. Well, before junior high school, it was very preppy. It was like we were trying to be preppy. There were like Bermuda shorts, I guess.
Yeah.
And like the OP shirts and all that kind of stuff you were talking about. I've got some pictures I'll put up of me and the neighborhood kids. But honestly, like even then, I was sort of wearing the same thing I would continue to wear for the rest of my life, which was just like a button-down, layers, a hat, a baseball cap. The only difference is we used to wear them backwards for a short time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it was a Henley, like a 3-button, like collarless shirt under the vest. I like to call that
Honestly,
the
don't
magician look. Or like the Ren Fair guy look.
Oh, you know what? I think I'm remembering now. I remember like... What?
I said I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Henley.
it was like a black sleeved, kind of long sleeved t-shirt with stripes, black and white stripes. It just came back to me in a rush. I
Wow.
didn't remember. But yeah, I remember having that shirt, like a black and white. It might have been a 3/4 length sleeve. I can't remember that part. Or it might have been full length. But it was like black sleeves and then black and white stripes with a gray vest. And maybe sometimes the painter's cap.
And would you take that painter's cap and put it on the corner and then walk against the wind, trying to get somebody to like throw some change in your because of the striped shirt? Did you?
We went in front of Albertsons and put a hat out and danced.
And break danced? Oh.
Yeah, 100. We absolutely did that. But before that was all those sort of early 80s movies was very preppy. Like the teen movies were all about preppiness. So I never really was good at that look.
Didn't they do like polo shirts with like two polo shirts and there's one?
Yes.
Did you do that? I don't remember doing that.
Not really. I kind of wanted to, but I didn't really. I felt too self-conscious popping that collar. I was like, this is too much effort to like, this is telling the world I care.
My mother has never, ever stopped popping the collar. Loves a popped collar.
Your mom wishes it would be her dream come true if I dressed like I was in the 1983.
Yeah. Preppy look.
Yeah.
That's what she likes.
It's a very southern like sort of thing
it is.
too that's never kind of gone away.
No.
It's a very frat boy kind of like country club kind of look, which is sharp. It's a sharp look. It's not that I don't like that look,
but it feels stuck in a time.
Expensive. It's kind of expensive that look too.
Well, yeah, and if you're wearing two shirts at once too, that definitely makes them more expensive.
Well, then some people like you will every now and then see a 3 shirt.
Really?
Wow. If I ever see a 3 shirt, I'm playing the lottery that day because I'm like, whoa, the stars have
A
aligned.
3 shirt.
But then I definitely went to the breakdancing. And it's like a lot of black, a lot of like, anyways, I wish I had pictures from that time. I really don't. I think my parents were like probably ashamed.
Was it? Were you kind of like the trench coat and the everything dark? And is that because you were like a little more brooding, not goth, but just
Yeah, I mean, it was the equivalent of what goth would become, like that sort of dark look. But I was never really brooding, and yet I still am. Brooding.
He's like a mild brood.
Yeah.
Like brooding is in his emotional wheelhouse, very much so, in a way that it really isn't in mine.
But I don't feel like I ever really lose my sense of humor.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
true. But you will get sullen and broody.
Oh, for sure.
I don't really
Why'd
do
you say
that.
that about me?
I'm just full-blown nightmare human being or a delight. There's sort of no middle. I'm like horrible, never want to see this person again, or absolute joy to be around.
Well, so another thing that I had, I feel like I'm burying the lead because I also had a clip earring.
Oh no! Wow.
You had a real earring too.
Well, at one point in junior high, I pierced my ear in class because someone was like, because the girl's like, I'll give you this earring if you pierce your ear. And I was like, okay. So I did it. But I never got it like at the mall or anything. But then I didn't really wear an earring, so it closed up. And I had a blonde rat tail down to the middle of my back.
Wow. Wait, but so it was dyed blonde?
Yeah.
And he has a singular tattoo that he got when he was 18.
When I was in high school, it's like just 17.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had to be 18.
I was underage. They don't check.
Oh.
These little like
So-
tattoo shops
but that
on
was-
Colfax.
So you had an earring. Well, you had a like what is that? What is that called? A clip? A
Clip
It's a
earring.
clip.
Clip
like a little,
earring.
it was like a cuff. I
clip.
think they call them
Okay.
an ear
And
cuff.
then it's like a little chain that dangles down. It's not a real. It's like I don't remember what it was.
And did you have
chain
that
dangles down.
at the same time as the rat tail?
Yeah,
That's probably a Spencer's Gifts purchase. I would
probably
bet.
that clip earring.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So
I
that
also-
was probably a big swing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And I was,
definitely.
like the breakdance kid at school. But I think I've talked about this stuff before. Like we would perform, like
Yeah.
at the beginning of school, and then at the roller rink, and like as I said, I didn't talk about this before, but we did busk out in front of Albertsons on occasion, and like with the cardboard and stuff.
Good place to get cardboard.
At Albertsons.
I mean, they got to unload a lot
Got
of products.
a lot of eggs and things.
Yeah.
And then, I have some pictures I'll throw up on a thing. I have one picture of me in this tiger shirt. That tiger print.
Yeah,
Isn't that
is
insane?
That feels very. Are you laughing
This
at?
whole picture is so
laughing
of
at
the
you
time.
from a second ago. From
But she
you.
was whispering something to you about.
No, you said I got some pictures I'll throw up, and then Ashley kind of went like,
Here, I'll put this
as if you had consumed your pictures. What am I looking at? Oh, wait.
Tiger
That
print
is
shirt.
Nate.
Wow, it's
Man,
kind of
that's a
blurry.
great
But
80s shot.
I gotta
Look
see
at the
it.
headphones my little sister's wearing too.
Yes,
Like, you don't get more 80s than that, really.
that's
But
amazing.
also, I feel like that shirt is indicative. That print, that kind
Yes.
of bold print, is indicative of a lot of clothes that you wore growing up.
But see, I didn't
Patterns and
choose
stuff, huh?
that. I didn't choose that. That
Right.
was gifted to me.
But even when we first got together, you had a lot of ties that were very like
For sure.
loud and like
Remember the wide
extreme.
ties, and then
Yeah.
sort of 90s.
Skinny
I
ties
guess.
also.
90s, that was
and then
90s.
skinny.
Skinnies in the 80s, and then they
Yeah.
got wider in the 90s. And 70s, of course, were the widest.
Yeah.
70s ties were insane. And of course, we thought the 70s were super cool. We would have like retro 70s parties. And
That was
stuff.
my favorite era.
Yeah.
That was fun, yeah. So then in high school, yes, I did the trench coat. I think we were trench coat inspired by Lost Boys.
Oh yeah, Lost
That
Boys.
would
I
make
couldn't think
sense.
of what else it would have been because Heather's was like '88. That's like I was a junior in.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Junior,
but
junior
I
or
remember
senior in
Lost
high school.
Boys
So
was probably
Lost Boys
Lost Boys was
earlier.
by 87 or 88. I don't remember.
Yeah, but I think
Those
that's
were black
that
trench
and
coats.
But it was
Black,
like,
yeah.
I wore like an army trench coat. At a certain time in high school, like I said, there's the breakdancing thing, and then other than that, I always sort of wore the same thing, like button down, plaid looking kind of shirt, and jeans and a hat. That's it. That
Yeah.
was my look, and still is, and never really changed, except for the diversion of the breakdancing years. And then in high school, at a certain point, I was like, I leaned, and we talked about this before too. I sort of leaned into like stuff I knew wasn't cool as a statement. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So like plaid pants.
okay.
That wasn't cool unless they were like really nice preppy plaid pants. That was a thing at some point, but I don't think
You would
when-
sort
But you're
of go
talking like multicolored plaid pants, like
stuff you'd find at the
Goodwill.
at the
like what
secondhand
Rodney
store.
Dangerfield wears
Yes.
in Caddyshack.
Yes, yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's sort of an anti-fashion.
Yeah.
That's like a very like I'm making a statement by saying, I'm
Like,
gonna
and I
wear
would
gross clothes.
I'd like wear like bowling shoes that I stole from the bowling
I was
alley.
I was gonna ask about bowling shoes. I was wondering
Yeah.
like what because you talked about everything else, but I was wondering what your footwear was.
I would purposefully try to clash and like oh, that's a crazy thing, I'm gonna wear it kind of stuff. So I definitely had an anti-fashion period. Like, along with the anti-fashion look, I purposefully, and I still wear these glasses today, but on my skinny young face, they were much nerdier. Like, I'm going for the nerd look.
But I think you look really cute there.
Like, I'm going for the nerd look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's on purpose.
I think that actually...
And they're also the cheapest frames I could get.
I think it actually looks kind of fashionable.
Yeah, probably, but I started that. No, it was like, to me, it was like, if Elvis Costello does it, it's cool.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely. What year was that around?
This was like early 90s.
Yeah.
And I actually managed to grow a little sideburn there.
Oh, look at that.
I have a hard time with the sideburn. That's very 90210.
Oh, it is.
Sideburn that I
Yeah.
always had a
That
hard
looks
time.
like a youngish man or a French lady. That's like just the full
I'm
on.
just going to show these since I have them out. It'll be easier than editing in
Yeah.
later. Here is us in the 80s now.
Wow.
Literally posing, but like, look at
Yes,
the shorts on my
look at
friends and
that.
the sunglasses. You always have like the croquis with the sunglasses. With
Yeah.
the croquis, but me is like, I'm just a hat.
That's very
buttoned
grunge,
down.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
grunge way before grunge.
It looks like you sun-inned your hair there too.
I did what?
Like put sun in your hair.
What's a hat? I'm wearing a hat.
No, but I mean,
Oh.
is that the?
This
let me-
is
I have
right
to look at
before
it.
the breakdance phase. I knew I had a Halloween party, and she came dressed as me.
Oh.
That's
you
her
go.
dress. Her costume was me.
Your costume is
That
you.
is
Yeah.
so like quintessential grunge.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was actually kind of a little before grunge. I guess, right? It was contemporary, so early 90s. Yeah, that's grunge. That's the best I got fashion-wise. I've never had, I don't think I've ever had a good eye for fashion. So if it's not like I'm going to copy a very specific look that's like the breakdancing, or I'm going anti-fashion, or I'm just doing layers, which is also a very Colorado kind of thing, like layers. So you like it's
Take it off,
cold
put it on.
at night.
Yep.
LA's like that too. Which I
Yeah.
love.
He's taught me the art of layering.
Well, let's want to hear more about this, and Ashley will come back to you next time, and then we will have a guest from another generation, all on the next episode of Solve for Gen X. See you next time.
Solve for Gen X is mixed and edited by Nate Starkey.
The theme song was written by Nate Starkey and Matt Vogel and performed by the Mighty Weekly.
Our podcast art was created by Dave Hulteen at davehulteendesign.com.
You can find Solve for Gen X wherever you listen to podcasts.
And it's also available to watch on YouTube.
Just search Solve for Gen X.
If you're so inclined, please rate and review our show. It really helps our visibility.
Or whatever.
Whatever.
Solve for Gen X is a Welcome Matt and Married Nate and Ashley production.